Something is still running. The surface is silent. Cities are dark. Communication has failed. Power grids have collapsed. From above, it looks like civilization has finally shut down. But deep underground, something is still alive. Lights are still on. Cooling systems are still humming. Digital displays are still active. Backup generators continue to cycle. Not because people are there to operate them, but because this place was never designed to need people at all. This is not a shelter for survivors. It is not a bunker meant to protect families. It is not a temporary refuge. This is a facility designed to keep running even after humanity collapses. A place built with the assumption that the surface world may fail completely, but the systems must not. And by the end of this story, you'll understand why this place was never built to save people. Why places like this exist. Facilities like this began appearing during the Cold War when governments quietly realized something unsettling. Modern civilization depends less on people and more on systems. Power grids, communication networks, data centers, infrastructure controls. The thinking was simple but chilling. Even if populations collapse, if the systems remain, civilization can be restarted. That belief changed how governments planned for the future. It shifted focus away from protecting people and toward protecting the machinery that keeps society running. On the surface, there is nothing remarkable. A fenced compound, a remote warehouse, a reinforced service building, a maintenance entrance carved into a hillside. No signs of a massive operation, no public markings, no indication of what lies beneath. To anyone passing by, it looks like just another restricted industrial site. But behind these ordinary entrances are layers of security. Heavy blast doors, access shafts that descend deep into the earth, multiple checkpoints, pressure-sealed corridors. What appears to be a simple structure above ground hides something far larger beneath it. The design is intentional. The first rule of this facility is simple. What matters is never meant to be visible from the surface. Once inside, the true scale becomes impossible to ignore. This is not a building. It is an underground world. Multiple levels stretch beneath the earth. Corridors extend so far they disappear into darkness. Entire sectors feel like districts rather than rooms. Some industrial elevators descend for over 3 minutes straight, deeper than many skyscrapers are tall. Tunnel systems branch in multiple directions, creating a network rather than a single complex. Some estimates suggest the underground footprint rivals that of a small city. But unlike a city, there are no windows, no natural light, no streets, only reinforced concrete, steel frameworks, blast-resistant doors, and machinery designed to outlast generations. Every meter of this place was engineered with one priority: endurance. Most underground facilities are built to protect people. This one was not. Its true purpose was to protect systems, power distribution networks, data processing centers, infrastructure control hubs, communication backbones, the invisible framework that allows modern civilization to function. Because governments and institutions understood a hard truth: even if people survive a collapse, without functioning systems, civilization does not. This facility was built to keep the skeleton of civilization alive, not to shelter humanity, but to preserve the framework that makes humanity possible. There are no family quarters here, no public spaces, no signs that this was ever meant to be comfortable. Everything is designed around machines, networks, and control, not human life. This is where the design becomes unsettling. The facility was engineered to operate without human presence for extended periods of time. Automated diagnostic systems constantly monitor structural integrity. Sensors track temperature, pressure, vibration, and load stress. Robotic maintenance systems perform routine mechanical tasks without human input. Redundant control systems take over when primary systems fail. If one power source shuts down, another activates automatically. If one sector goes offline, another compensates. Entire processes are designed around the assumption that people may not be there to fix problems. The machines must be able to take over. The facility does not wait for human input, it expects human absence. To survive after the surface collapses, this facility cannot depend on the global power grid. It was designed with independent energy systems, hardened power distribution, long-term fuel reserves, multiple backup generators, redundant cooling and heat management systems to prevent overheating in sealed underground environments. Some systems were designed to operate continuously for years without external resupply.
Even if the world above loses electricity for months or longer, this place is meant to remain online. The surface could go dark, cities could go black. Deep underground, the lights would still glow. Official maps show a limited number of sectors, control areas, power zones, data halls, maintenance corridors. But those maps do not match the full reality. Unmarked doors, restricted access points, entire levels with no official designation. Engineers later described areas they were never briefed on, sections built, sealed, and never explained. Some corridors end at reinforced steel doors with no labels. Some access points require clearance levels that even senior personnel never received. No documentation, no public acknowledgement, just steel doors and silence. Even those who worked here did not always know what was behind every wall. And this is where the story stops being about infrastructure and starts being about something much darker. Because some engineers later said this facility was not built to survive a collapse. It was built for what comes after no one is left. Not for recovery, not for rebuilding, but for a world where humanity is no longer part of the equation. Because if this facility wasn't designed for recovery, then it wasn't designed for us at all. From this point on, this is no longer just a facility. It becomes something else entirely. So why build something this massive if no one was meant to survive inside it? Public records suggest the facility was built in phases, but the timeline does not fit the scale. Excavation on this level would normally take decades, yet evidence suggests unusually rapid construction. Tunnel boring machines larger than small houses ran continuously for years. Massive concrete pours happened on a scale rarely seen in civilian projects. Entire underground chambers were completed faster than most surface megastructures. Budgets were fragmented across multiple agencies. Funding was spread through different departments. Oversight was limited. No single authority appears to have had a complete view of the project. The result is that no public document shows the full scope, which means the true size of this facility may never have been officially recorded. On paper, this was described as an infrastructure continuity project. In reality, its design points to a far darker scenario. It was built for a world where the surface is no longer reliable, a world where cities are abandoned, where communication collapses, where power grids fail, where governments lose physical control of territory. In that world, this facility becomes something else, a last anchor point, a place where civilization's systems continue even if civilization itself does not. Not to save people, but to preserve the machinery of the world they built. Imagine the final scenario. The surface is silent, streets are empty, data centers go dark, power lines collapse, but underground, monitors are still active, cooling systems still hum, automated diagnostics still run, lights still turn on. A fully operational facility, with no humans left to see it. Machines maintaining systems for a world that no longer exists above them. A functioning heart, with no body left to support it. If this place was not built for people, then who was it really built for? A future generation? A rebuilt civilization? A return that may never come? Or was it designed simply to keep systems alive for reasons never meant to be explained? Because a facility like this is more than infrastructure. It is a statement, a message that says even if humanity fails, the systems must not. It raises a disturbing possibility that the people who designed this place were already planning for a future where humanity was optional, but the systems were not. That they were preparing not just for collapse, but for a world where machines and infrastructure would matter more than the people who created them. Somewhere beneath the surface, places like this may still exist, silent, powered, maintained, waiting. Not for people, but for a future where the world above no longer matters. Because long after cities crumble, long after nations fade, and long after humanity itself is gone, there may still be machines underground, keeping a dead civilization alive, in silence, in darkness, still running.